Good morning. I am 5 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward or stay with us through our hellos. As usual, I'm going to check the sound now, if my computer allows me. Good morning. The sound seems to be good. Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, Sandra. All right, it is time for us to start. And well, as we allow ourselves to live authentically, that we have been talking about lately, we become more and more willing to have authentic relationships with others. The relationships that are based on mutual trust and kindness. In conscious relationships, we set the intention to investigate the old stories we tell ourselves, as well as our habits of thinking and behavior. Practically speaking, this means that we take responsibility for our actions and reactions, as well as for defensive strategies that we employ, such as withdrawing, keeping secrets, or blaming someone else for our suffering. Relationship experts Kathleen and Gay Hendricks explain that people thrive in a climate of 100% accountability, where nobody blames or claims victim status. Taking responsibility for oneself is, by definition, an act of kindness. And it's an act of kindness towards ourselves and towards others. And this taking responsibility for yourself does not at all mean taking the blame. There is a huge difference. Taking responsibility means exploring your own truth of a challenging experience and allowing this truth to unfold for you on all the levels: physical, emotional, mental, perhaps even spiritual. George Taylor, a therapist who specializes in working with couples, says this: when we live together in a committed relationship, we live with our teacher. We are tested daily, and every day we have the opportunity to meet our own resistance and reactivity. Moment to moment, what's going on inside us is reflected in our body language and our response to our partner, and vice versa. We are incredible mirrors for each other. And the good news is that we are highly trainable. Taylor says, for example, that in his own marriage, as well as in his work with couples, he has seen how paying attention to our often unconscious reactions and judgments enables us to choose to respond differently. And even small moments of mindfulness can be powerfully transformational. When we're willing to explore our own experiences, we open the doorway to deeper connection and intimacy. We grow to love and appreciate our partner for who they truly are, and they appreciate us for who we truly are, unmasked and whole. In the light of one another and each other's gaze, we are both seen. And of course, the same concept also applies to those of us who are not in a romantic relationship. Although we may have fewer opportunities to get tested around our triggers on a regular basis if we don't live with somebody on a day-to-day basis, we still have friends and family who we can practice the same approach with. When something challenging happens in any of our close relationships, whether it's with a partner, a close friend, a co-worker, a family member, we always have a choice to withdraw or to explore the truth of our experience. Using the same principle, we can even repair broken relationships. We can potentially reconcile with our estranged parents, children, friends. Just how amazing is that? And it all starts with taking responsibility for ourselves, not blaming ourselves for something we did or did not do, but really taking authentic responsibility, exploring the truth of our body, mind, heart, spirit in any challenging interaction. So let's see how this can be done with the practice of RAIN. Just in case, I'll remind you that this acronym stands for recognize, allow, investigate, non-identify, and nurture. Recognize what's happening, allow life to be just as it is in this moment, investigate with kind and curious attention. Remind yourself that whatever you're feeling at any given moment is not all of you. In other words, consciously don't allow yourself to be fully defined by this one experience or this one emotion. Instead, nurture the vulnerable part of you with loving presence. So let's explore this together now. Take a comfortable position, and as always, take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your mind, your heart. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Nice and soft, natural breath, without forcing, without changing. Just notice how the breath flows through your body, how your body responds to your breath. As always, see if you can get some sense of spaciousness in your breathing, so that all the experiences of the present moment, your physical sensations, thoughts, emotions, can simply flow through you as energy that they are, without any struggle. And now recall a tough situation or conflict in which the intensity of your emotions kept you from communicating in a way that felt direct, authentic, kept you from communicating from a place of integrity. As you reflect on this situation, recognize that at this very moment, right now, you are not directly involved in this interaction and actually have some distance from it. So, with the benefit of this perspective, go through all the emotions you felt during that conflict. This particular step precedes the practice of RAIN method. It's meant to really immerse you into the memory so that you can really feel what's going on or what was going on. For example, did you start out the argument angry or the interaction? Were you resentful? Did you say hurtful things out of guilt or disappointment? And these are just some of the examples of the common emotions we feel during conflict. Of course, hone in on what was present for you. And now let's see if you can reframe what happened. But imagining that at that moment, during the conflict, during that challenging interaction, you could actually practice RAIN. Recognize, allow, investigate, non-identify, and nurture. And please know that this is not an invitation to look back with regret, but rather to feel the power of self-reflection. In other words, we'll now do the practice of RAIN as if you did apply it in that conflict situation, in that challenging interaction. So in your reframe, what happens when you simply recognize how you're feeling? And I mean, how you're feeling in your body. What's happening to your breath, to your body language, as you reflect on the situation as if you are applying RAIN in that moment. Continue to stay in your reframe and see if you can simply acknowledge the situation for what it is. Not pushing anything away, not trying to run away from anything. Just giving yourself permission to feel whatever it is you're feeling, even if you don't like what you're feeling. Again, staying in your reframe, investigate the situation and your emotions with kind curiosity. What's the worst part of this conflict? What beliefs about yourself does it highlight? What is so painful about it? And now remind yourself, whatever I'm feeling or thinking is not the totality of me. I am bigger, more spacious than any and all these emotions and thoughts. In other words, see if you can stop feeling defined by what you did or how you felt, and instead move into the nurturing space of giving yourself empathy. How human of me. Whatever happened in that interaction, however I acted or didn't act, whatever I said or didn't say, how human of me. And finally, notice how you're feeling now after this exercise, after this reframe when you applied the RAIN method to it. Maybe there is more spaciousness. Maybe you gained some perspective. Or maybe you got more anxious or angrier. Whatever it is for you, simply acknowledge without judgment. Now place your hands on your heart and thank yourself for doing this exercise, for doing this powerful work. Repeat after me, silently or out loud. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel safe, protected, at ease. May I know deep, natural peace. And as usually, as you go, as you let go of your practice, scan your body. Notice how you're feeling right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really in this moment? And I have this invitation for you today. As any kind of thorny emotions come up in any of your interactions today, try to simply remember this practice of RAIN. Recognize what's coming up for you. Acknowledge the feeling, allowing it to be just as it is. Investigate the emotion by asking questions, moving closer toward the feeling with curiosity. And really consciously don't allow yourself to be defined by any given emotion, but instead nurture this vulnerable part of yourself with loving presence. How human of me. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.